Amy Stewart, and this is Briony Morrow-Cribbs. She's the illustrator who did the copper plate etchings that illustrate wicked bugs and wicked plants. And we're here in her parents' studio on Whidbey Island. So you are the daughter of artists.
I'm the daughter of artists. Pretty much the whole family is artists.
And so I saw Briony's work at a gallery in Seattle as I was just beginning to write Wicked Plants. I saw a show of your work at Wessel Lieberman, a rare book dealer.
Right.
And there were these extraordinary sort of monstrous creatures, like half fish and half giraffe, or, I just remember these really crazy creatures, and I thought, oh, this is so dark and weird and cool and science-y in this very Victorian way.
Right. That whole show was kind of hybridized creatures and really kind of playing with the idea of truth and this weird reality we can make with things.
Right. And but for Wicked Bugs and for the plants as well, it was really about drawing the creature in this very accurate. So was that weird?
That was a bit of it was a new twist for me. It was staying true to a form and trying to be accurate to a degree. I think working with publishing, there was some degree I could have my artistic license, but yeah. And then working with the Wicked Bugs and working with an entomologist was a big change for me.
So talk about that. So you actually managed to get the real bugs to illustrate.
Yeah, for a lot of the ones that are actually from the Midwest, I got to go to the insect research collection at the University of Madison, Wisconsin, and I worked with the entomologist, and he would bring out trays of these bugs, and I would look at them under the microscope and actually draw them, right there, and then I'd come back in with research photographs and stuff and really get some of the other details in afterwards.
So did it make you feel like, because this is how copper plate etchings were done back in the day, like did it give you sympathy for what those guys had to do?
Yeah, to a degree, and you look at some of those old ones too, and a lot of them are a lot more funky, and they kind of have this different, an older feel to them. They're not as accurate as you think, they should be now. So
they make stuff up.
Yeah,
there's stuff that's wrong in those old books. I know.
Yeah, so and having the idea of being accurate, but also being being able to play with it to some degree.
Yeah.
And also using a lot of that language of the scientific illustration. That's what I wanted to bring into the illustrations.
So like what? Like what's an example of that?
They have, a lot of those are engravings, so they're not etchings necessarily, but they have, dotted, their use of dotted lines, and they're kind of concentric lines that they used to create a form, and shade.
Make it seem round, or...
Yeah, make them three-dimensional. So I try to use that a lot. And also putting in a lot of what we call plate tone, or kind of extra flex and stuff to make the image look old.
Right. Kind of scratchy, like a scratchy record kind of. Yeah.
So I've been beaten up a little.
Right. Well, so I remember times when I would see the sketch, because I saw the sketches ahead of time, just to see, is this like even the part of the bug or the plant that we want depicted, just to sort of check with that kind of thing. And I remember sometimes I would send it back and go, yeah, but very hairy, this thing is, I need lots of hairs everywhere, that's what it's all about. And it wasn't until much later that I realized what that meant for you. Because you're like there with a jeweler's mask on, like, okay, great, she wants 1,000 hairs, 998, 999,
Right. Well, and it's one thing to, I'll take a space and I'll commit to filling it with one texture or something like that. But then when I have to fill the whole plate, that's a totally different thing. So sometimes it was a bit of a stretch, but it made it work.
Yeah, well, they are fantastic. I mean, the etchings are incredible.
Thank you.
Yes, and I hope that they will lead to other things for you. It was a huge project.
They already have. They've taken their own life.
Good, good. Well, they're amazing. It was fun to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.